Right, so we're going to draw a horse from the side on view, and horses are notoriously difficult to draw because of proportions. You've got to get everything just right, otherwise it doesn't look like a horse. It just so happens that a horse's body absolutely fits perfectly into a square. So we're going to start off by drawing a 20 centimetre square in the middle of my sheet of A4 paper, which I've got landscape, but you can have it portrait because the square will go square wherever. But I'm going to measure in 5 centimetres from the left hand side and make a mark, and do the same down here. And I'm going to join up those lines. I'm going to press really lightly because I don't really want the square to be part of my picture. It's just as a guide. So you might be able to see that. I'm going to draw 5. I'm going to come over here and do 20 centimetres now. So putting the 0 on this line, and moving over and putting a mark on the 20 on my ruler. Then I'm going to join up those two lines with a faint line. I'm then going to put my ruler near the edge up here and put a little mark on 0, and come down here and put a little mark on 20. And I can do the same, trying to keep the distance the same from the edge of the paper. 0 and 20. And then I can make my mark. Something like that. So I've got a nice square there to be able to draw my horse within. If I just reinforce the corners, you can probably see it a bit better. But I wouldn't do this if I was you. I'm only doing it so that you can see what I'm trying to show you. So I just show you the corners. There we go. It shows up a bit better when I reinforce my lines a bit. Okay, there's my square. Okay, then I'm going to come over here to about here on my paper. The head is going to be here, and we'll go from there. I'm going to leave a bit of space at the top for the ears, which are going to poke up here, and I'm going to draw an oblique angle line from the edge here, slightly curved, a bit like that. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is just at the top of here, I'm going to draw an oval, which is going to go back in this sort of direction. So I'm going to draw my oval about that sort of size. It might be a little bit wider than that. Maybe like that. That's fine. And then over this end, I'm going to continue this line down and try and draw a circle. So we've got the oval for the top of the head, and the circle is going to form the end of the nose. Quite difficult to draw a circle, so you might want to just practice that a little bit. Then I'm going to draw a line here, which does that. And I'm going to do a little bit of that. And then draw a line which doesn't come right to the edge of the circle, something like there. That'll do. So we're starting to get the shape of the horse's head. I'll just clean this up a little bit for you so you can see it clearly. Okay, that's pretty good. Now you should be drawing lightly here. I'm doing these darker so that you are able to see my lines better. You don't need to draw them that dark. So these are guidelines, remember. Always the same when you start to draw. Just map out your drawing before you draw dark. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a line from here right the way across to the side of my square, and it's got to be parallel with the top edge, so it's the same distance here as it is here. So I'm going to try and judge that. You can measure it if you want to, but I'm going to put a line in there. Okay, then I'm going to take a line from the top of his head, and it's going to go up very slightly before it starts to come down and form a neck. So it's quite a tricky curve. Obviously I've tried to simplify this a bit, and you're going to have to try and use your judgment a little bit, but that's pretty good. We'll go with that. Maybe that needs to come down a bit further. So then, from this point where this neckline catches this horizontal line, I'm going to draw a diagonal. And it's going to come down to about like that. Again, it's another guideline, so nice and faint with your drawing. Then from about here, I'm going to draw a curve that comes down. So I think I needed to just make that a little bit longer. There we go. Starting to look a little bit horsey. Then, next stage, from this line here, I'm going to bring a curve, which is obviously his back. And it's going to form where you'd put the saddle on the horse, the middle of the back. And then towards the end, I'm going to draw an oval. And this is quite a tricky oval to draw, and you've got to try and have a go at this. You don't want it to be too big. So we're going to about halfway down the square, so about to there. That's how big your oval needs to be. Something like that. So I'm going to draw this several times and then kind of pick my optimum oval. Something like that. Remember, you're going to rub this out afterwards, so don't worry too much. And then from the bottom of that, where you choose to be the bottom, you're going to draw a horizontal line that goes across again. This gives you another guide. Now I can see I need this point to be nearer this. So either I've made my oval too big, too deep, or I haven't made my neck big enough. And I suspect it's a little bit of the neck. So I'm going to adjust this. And this is the great thing about art. You can always adjust your drawing to suit and judge it from your own eye. Well, you can judge it from what you've done compared to mine here, because you can tell how much space you've got between here and this horizontal line. Don't make that too big. I think I was a bit big before. So it's going to come to about there, and I can rub that out. About like that. Just take that a bit. Make that all a bit neater. That's good. So these horizontal lines are key. You've got to have a go at doing those. I'm then going to take a line and drop it down right the way to that horizontal line from this point here. Okay, so I'm putting my pencil here, and I'm going to just draw that down. You can do that with a ruler if you want. That's absolutely fine. Then I'm going to go from here, slightly slanting back to the horizontal line that's underneath. And then I'm going to finish that off with a curve. It's going to come down like that. This is kind of the shoulder of where the foreleg is going to be. Okay, then I'm going to take my line from here, and I'm going to join up with where the oval here meets this horizontal line. So this point here, I'm going to make a slightly different curve, and it's going to come up like that to that point there. And then from there, I'm going to draw a slight curve like that. Okay, looks all right, that. Good. Now, I'm going to go from kind of in this space here, and I'm going to put a little pencil mark there, and you can judge where that is on your drawing. And I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to draw a line so it goes back. If it was straight down the page, it would be that angle. I'm going to tilt it back from that spot, just slightly, about like that. I'm going to bring it down so it's not quite to the bottom of my square. There we go. And then just about in the middle of that line, I'm going to draw an oval. You can judge that. And then I'm going to draw a circle on the end. That looks good. I might have made that a little bit long. actually, so I'm just going to rub that out and take it to there and put my circle on the end just about there. Okay, we'll move on. So next bits, if you keep pausing this video, you'll be able to do these quite easily, I think. They're quite straightforward lines. Little curve like that. And then I'm going to draw a shape. Just watch what I do with this curve. So from where the horizontal line cuts that curve, I'm going to put my pencil there. I'm then going to come back and do a shape a bit like that. So there's a bit of a bulge in it, like that. And I can then, from here, draw a line that's going to join up to the circle at the bottom of the leg. And then I can do the same to the back. And then from this point, where it joins the oval, I'm going to go and imagine that this straight line comes down, and that's going to form the back of his front leg. That looks good. Now the foot, where the hoof is slightly tricky. It comes out at an angle like this. So you can draw that, but we're not going to put our line there. I'm just going to draw a little curve like that. And then I'm going to draw a little curve like that.